Looking ahead to the final, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, just on the semi-finals, I felt whoever won the toss and played with the wind was going to win the match. I thought, thought you'd be wore out playing against the wind. It was a very substantial wind, but both teams are there on credit, are there on merit, and I just have a suspicion that the Martins will win it, but the Anns will give it all on the day. There's no doubt about that. I think they have some injuries, but Rory O'Connor, if he cuts loose, it's going to be very hard to stop him.
And who have been the most impressive players in this year's championship in your view?
On both teams? Yeah, well, sure, just a lot of young players. But Justin Moran and Andrew Moran are very good for the Anns this year, and obviously Rory O'Connor. Philip Dempsey has played well for the Martins too, and Joe Barrett is coming back into form. David Codd is a player that impressed me a lot this year with the Martins.
And Conor, I suppose things didn't go your way the last day. They don't always go your way. Would you agree with Ed in what he was saying there about the toss being crucial in the game, and St. Martin's obviously building up such a big lead at half time?
We won the toss. No, sure. Look, at myself and George was talking about it there just before we come on, and you train all year like to get to a county semi-final or get to a final, and then there's a spanner thrown in like that. That was by far the worst weather that I've ever played a game in, and for it to be such a big game, you don't know what to do. Like you're on the day, you're wondering, Wexford Park is Wexford Park, and it could be a 5-point wind or a 10-point wind on any given day, but that was just crazy stuff. It really was, like, and there's been 20 days you go down there and you go again to win in the first half, because it's not half as bad as maybe what it was, but you're just on the day and you're on the way down and in the car and you're wondering, Jesus, is it as bad down here, or what's going on? And just there's loads of question marks, and probably was we were looking at the first game, and there was a bit of a lull there, in midway through the second half, and we were going under a tunnel, and I think that's kind of when we said, right, in we get now and see what we're going to do, and kind of our leaders or whoever in the group were making the decision then on behalf of the team that if we were to win it, like it wasn't just me.
It was multiple.
Sure, everyone's throwing out their twopence worth, but like it was crazy, yeah. And Ed is probably right. Like Joe was saying there, you're running again to win there in the first half, and we've never actually experienced it. Like I've never experienced wind like that. Like. Des was saying there about losing the yard of pace. I gained the yard anyway, run out for the second half, and I could do it now again. But yeah, it was just a mental day. Yeah.
And Joe, your thoughts on the, I suppose, the game itself coming up on
Mac
Sunday?
Mac didn't say who would win, by the way.
Sorry,
don't let him off.
Jesus, I was happy enough with that now, Peter. The team. No, look at like on paper, everyone's going to say the Martins, and like I do feel like if they do hit form, but sure, it is always an if, and we played them in 18, and a lot of people would have probably backed them, and we felt like if we really turned up, like we have to really turn up. And I'll be honest, Peter, I think the Anns every single day you play them, as I said, they're an 8.5 out of 10, and that won't change. Like. So the Martins are going to have to put in a serious performance to get over the line. But I just think they are coming. Their game plan is suited well to these weather conditions. Barry O'Connor came on or started the last day against ourselves, and it's just efficiency with the ball and being able to move it at the way he does, and it incorporates other players and incorporates the likes of Rory. He's just looking for him every time. Then he winds up and gets a goal in the semi-final against the wind, that gale wind. I just think they do have the X factor, but I have a sneaky feeling about the Anns, but I'll go with the Martins. Political, I know.
You covered all bases there, Joe. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts totally different, I have to say. I played the Anns in the match semi-final, and we played them the year before. And the funny thing about it is they're after being a lot of young lads, to be fair. A totally different team that we played the year before. And my feeling on it is, the Martins, when we played them in the group stages, we bet them it was a poor match up in Belfield, low scoring. And if they've improved no end. They've improved no end since. And going off from the last match, every day they're scoring. Rory's on fire. But the funny thing is, with the Ans and the young lads, their first day there, and I finished up the match the last day, and Mogi came over to me and he hit me and he said, "Geez, I thought that sideline was going to go to the back of the net." I said, "Thank God it didn't." He said, "At least you have two I've known." So you have to remember the likes of Dio and all them have no county final either. And there's a bite in them as well because the years are ticking by with the young and with the old. Maybe if they get their tactics right, I think I'll just throw my hat at the end, so I will, to be honest.
Des, you managed to mastermind a semi-final victory over St. Anne's last year, or maybe it wasn't anything to do with you at all, I don't know, but what do you think?
I'm with Joe, and I'm undecided. There's a couple of injuries in the Anns, Brian Kavanagh and Paddy Doyle. I think to be huge losses for the Anns if they're not playing. I think I'd be favouring the Anns slightly if they did, because as Conor said, they will go hard, and whether it's tough going. I think David said on the radio he didn't like that. I think he said to you, Liam, he didn't like you saying that to him, but that's what they are, and that is a compliment in regard of, but they have good hurlers. Do you know what I mean? I'd said Justin Moore and Paddy Doyle's a really good player. Kevin Breen, full-back's playing really well. These lads, and along with Dee O'Keefe, Andrew Moore and forwards, Liam Oak. When you have Liam Oak in there, he's going to make the ball stick. I'm not sure if the Martins have a great matchup for Liam Oak McGovern. I think, Joe, you said Rory's on fire. Rory, to me, is the last couple of games has been less than he had been in the group stages. Maybe that's dangerous. Like, Conor had a poor championship last year. I went to bed on the Saturday night and I was thinking to myself, if we stop Conor McDonald, we're going to win this match. But I said it on an interview with TJ Carr before the match. I said, I'm worried that Conor McDonald hasn't got going in the championship, and he scored 1-4, so that won by 6 points. But that's what top forwards can do, and that's where Rory, I'd be a little bit worried if I was the Anns, that he's been a little bit laxy-daisy again. Ferns, he was middle in the last day. He'll be picked up by Owen Ryan, who's a really good man marker as well. So there's a lot of implications on the match. I'm going to go with the Anns on the basis that they have everybody. But if the two boys are missing, I'd be going with the mark.
Brian is definitely going to be missing. I think his arm is broken.
Yeah, everyone's on about, or the Anns have a good squad. The Fogartys and these lads on the line, but I don't think they can replace Paddy Doyle and Brian Kavanagh with the same kind of quality. So, the Martins and Willie was with David in the minor as well. They're kind of playing the same way. They're dropping back a sitting six and trying to use the ball up the pitch. So the two boys will know exactly. There's a lot of tactics going on in regard of this match. And poke outs to Martins. I said it on the preview last day, they line up with 5 forwards. So they basically want you to go short. And it's the same as last year in the county final with Gorey. I think Barry Cleary was with Conor and give Allgate the puck out. Completely caught off guard, gave us the puck out.
Dessie, sorry cutting across you. If you cut out Rory, is there a threat elsewhere from the Martins, you think?
Oh geez, yeah, you've Darren Codd, you've Barry O'Connor, you've Kyle Furman. You've Jack O'Connor. Jack O'Connor has been, done.
Is that the danger? You might cut out Rory then at the expense of leaving somebody else to.
Yeah, well, they scored 520 again Allgate. I think Rory got a goal. So that's 420 they scored elsewhere. I think the semi-final Rory. So it's just that's the problem with the Martins. They probably have a little bit more scoring power. If they got going and they play to their maximum, they'll beat the Anns. But I just think the Anns have a way of maybe getting teams back to 80-85%, and as Joe said, lads who are coming, they have probably an age profile where they have 10 lads maybe 12 lads under 30, I'd say, and then the rest of them are all in their 20s. That's a very good age profile, so you need, with the likes of Liam Hogan and Dio, you need young blood, and I think the Anns are going to win one really soon, whether it's this year or whether it's next year or whatever, but they have too much down there now that I can't see him not winning one in the next 4 or 5 years, because if the Martins win it this year, going on next year, it's going to be a different team. That's the way it's hard, Conor said there, it's very hard to win too. Like even in an outlet when we did win, I know we won 5 in a row or whatever, but like there's times in quarter-finals we drew again the Harriers, we drew again Ferns another year, that could have stopped at being 2 in a row, we won, so it's not easy, and especially the way Wexford now, I think there's a gap now in regard of Wexford. There's probably 4 top teams, and then there's 3 in the middle, and then there's probably 4, so there's kind of coming to 3 tiers, but I think any of the top 4 can win it, or 5 at the minute. So I'll go with the Ants.
And Frank, who would you go with if you were to put your head on the top of the block?
Slightly uneducated on this one a bit, but just on, I suppose, working with David. If anyone knows David Redmond, he's really colourful character, and he brings unbelievable confidence. So I think that'll be feeding through the ends next weekend. Now just met someone at the racing yesterday, just asking, and he said it's the first year in a long time that the Martins have everyone in the field for the last month solid. Like there's no one injured, or just they seem to have everyone on board fully going. So look, from past tense, a long time ago, I would be saying St. Martins.
And when is that horse running again?
I'd hate to keep you from talking.
Hold on. I want to find out when this horse is running again. When is the horse running again?
Punchestown in 3 weeks.
Punchestown in 3 weeks, okay. And what's the name? Just tell everybody a name, Frank.
One big boom.
One big...
Boom.
That's you, Dempsey. It's after you.
The only thing you didn't ask him, is it going to win, Frank?
No, but sure, it is going to win.
It could be running. Sure, the 2 teams will be playing. We need winners.
It is going to win.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say we're blessed with the people that have put on the purple and gold. Club hurlers, Joe, I won't say that right, Joe, but he was always a man that I admired. Conor, Dessie, Frank, would you give a huge round of applause, lads, for the people who've been up on stage?